Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card for today, Cancer, you have is the Emperor. This is Major Arcana number 4, and you are the 4th house archetypal energy. Now, if you look at the picture, there is a little different energy out here as compared to the other Rider-Waite decks. There is this personality that's sitting on this solid throne, cross-legged, holding this scepter, raising it to the heavens. And scepter, whenever there's a scepter, it's all about, what's meant to be. It's the divine guidance. It's the direction that is divinely protected, divinely guided. Also, the Emperor is wearing this hat, or a crown, I would say. This is also a very important crown, like the Emperor is generally. This is like the Egyptian kind of a, image. But it's mainly about authority. And, it comes to the landscape of Egypt. The Nile was a major, provider, the Nile River, right? It creates the fertile ground. It's a provider in a big, big way. And then you see there is this, around the neck, there is this beautiful, neck collar that this Emperor is wearing, which speaks to authority, which speaks to counsel, which speaks to leading from experience, leading from experience. I'm coming from a space which is of higher wisdom, of higher self, because there's a lot of divine energy here. And then there's hieroglass, which is like about documentation, regulation, and, creating the law, make it standard, permanent kind of an energy over here. Now, this Emperor is in a sitting position, and still is the Emperor. So there is authority, the person doesn't have to shout or be loud to prove their authority. It's just, knowing. This is like, and because it's for you, Cancerians, the 4th house energy, it's all about the inner world. For some of you, this is leadership of the inner world, authority of the inner world, like having the decisive ability, structure to things, stepping up from being that timid Cancerian who's always looking out, should I do this, should I not, looking for maybe some kind of validation or approvals, to this position where you are leading, you're stepping into a leadership position out here. You are having that power where you don't have to show it out to the world. You just know that you are leading, you're capable, you're the authority out here. You need to take control of a certain situation. You need to take stock of a certain situation. You need to, maybe it's a chaotic environment that you need to step and take the lead in to create some kind of a structure. And because it's related to the 4th house archetype, is the family nourishing care. So for some of you, you could be becoming the authority in your homes or things that you care about, whether that's your relationships, your business, your hobbies, whatever that is, but you're stepping into that Emperor or leadership role in those areas that you care about, that that need that care and support for the growth. And also, even planetary-wise, if you see Jupiter in Cancer are in your are in the sign of Cancer, and that's a huge blessing. It's a powerful blessing. It's a very powerful alignment. So I feel that you are stepping from being confused and looking at others and seeing what they want into a position where you know what the environment needs. You know what your family needs, or you know what the office needs, or you know what the neighborhood, whatever that is, needs. You already know it. And now you are there stepping up, telling them what to do. You're kind of making the decisions. You're helping them make the decisions. Maybe Maybe this is like, like for example, if it's a company, maybe the CEO stepped down or just went away to another company, and now the company is floating around. They need a CEO, so you step into that kind of a leadership role, directing the company in the interim, or maybe you get promoted to that role. So it's that kind of a vibe. Now, I also feel that some of you could be actually working towards creating structures. There's hieroglyphs over here, which is like writing the documents, creating laws, rules, processes, documenting things, and all of that. So for some of you, you could be creating those kind of processes in your office or in the corporate or in your business. You could be writing contracts, signing contracts, creating a structure. And that could be even in the mundane. Like, for example, if you're a student, and you share a room. So you could have those contracts, like who's going to pay how much, who's going to divide the bills, how it's going to be divided, how long is going to be the stay. So for some of you, you could be creating those kind of documents related to your home, your family. Maybe it's inheritance documents. Maybe it's financial documents. Maybe it's ownership documents. Or this could be related to the house. You could be starting something in regards to the house, buying of homes, and you're creating sphere documents in regards to that, signing papers in regards to that. Or you could be, selling homes, or you could be passing down homes to your kids and having those kind of conversations and documents written. And because this is like the energy, the undercurrent of it is a Cancerian energy, which is a cardinal water sign. So here there is a lot of emotional intelligence which is coming through, which means that you understand things from the depth of your heart and your soul and your being. And then you read the room, then you read the energy, read the situation, and come up with the decision. Or you kind of lead the team or direct whatever this is. This would mean the creative field. Maybe you're actually becoming a director of a show, a movie, or song, or something like that. Or it could be stepping up to lead a team or in a business. In some way, shape, or form, there is a growth, there is a next level energy over here for you, Cancerians. And it's also, I feel, there's a lot of structural energy to this. Now, I feel that for some of you, structure is the life of yours is a crab that has that hard home on its back, right? So that's a structure. So the structure is the one that provides the safety, security, and care. It's like home. So even stepping up as an emperor position is, for your case, for this energy, as I feel, is a form of love and care. Like, why would a chaotic situation be good for anybody? So you step and you make a decision to create a structure, and that's the care that the team needs. So it's a form of care for you. It's not kind of a rude, cold authority that you're trying to lead or be brutal about anything, even though there is a scepter. But then, it's like doing it in a loving way. The scepter is like raised just once. It's not always raised to second, third, fourth time. No, it's raised once. So you say, you speak your mind, you make the decision, and you leave it out there waiting for people to receive. You're not just forcing it on anybody. You're letting your decisions land on people and then kind of work around that. Now, for some of you, this could be also like making things formal, like, you're signing the paperwork of something, or you're announcing something. Maybe it's in relationships, you're making a relationship formal. This could be your announcing that you are starting this or being promoted, some kind of a formal announcement. Now, for some of you, this could be stepping into parenthood, or you could be in some way, like kind of creating a structure for your kids, for your family, some solid foundations. This can also be, you creating some kind of rules for safety, whether it's for the community. Maybe you're stepping into as law enforcement, or, in the law enforcement division, or what is allowed, what is not allowed, and you're kind of spelling it out, because you have the clarity, you know what to do, you know what's needed. For some of you, this could be, if you are in corporate, maybe a project document, a project plan, or business plan, or, something that will avoid hassles or avoid headaches for people, avoid disputes, everything is spelled out clearly. For some of you, could be working in companies that are creating these kind of records of documenting and creating rules and laws or changing it up and explaining it to people like what's expected out of them and things like that. So it's no more about the verbal contracts, it's more about the handwritten contracts. Now, this could be that the decisions have been pending for way too long, and now you're like going tearing that space. Like finally, you need to make a decision. Somebody needs to step up, and you are the one who's stepping up, and people are following that authority. People are looking up to you for that kind of a decision or direction. So a lot of situations that were at crossroads probably will get resolved, or things that were under disputes will get resolved. Some of you could actually be working in legal structures or creating legal structures for your own self, some kind of companies, LLCs, partnership agreements and documents. For some of you, could getting into that space as well. The next card you have for today, Cancerians, is the wreath. And this wreath, if you take a look at it, it's beautiful. Like all wreaths are beautiful. They're all circular. There is no starting point. There is no ending point. It's like an infinite. That's the underlying energy of the wreath, right? No beginnings, no ends. It's just a continuous form, whether it's evolution, growth, or whatever that is. Now, in this case, the wreath is a little bit different. If you see the top part of the wreath, it has a lot of crystals. It has a lot of gemstones, of different shades out here. There is yellow, there is green, there is blue, there's magenta. So a lot of gemstones. And gemstones is a higher energy, cosmic energy. And the entire wreath is full of flowers, different kind of flowers, right? We see different colors of flowers. There's not one repeated flower over here. There's lotus, there's tulips, there's red color flowers, there's blue color flowers. They're all over the wreath. And then at the bottom, if you'll see, there is all shells, different kind of shells, water elements, sea elements, and all of that. And then the wreath is actually sitting and resting. It's standing on a solid surface, on a solid floor. This wreath is really beautiful, and so many different pieces. That shows how powerful, unique, wholesome this wreath is, and that's the energy out here for you, Cancerians. It's so beautiful that you got the wreath, which has the shells and oceanic, elements, because you are the water sign, the cardinal water sign, and you got that energy over here. So this is a part of who you are. Your emotions, your depth, your understanding, your intuition is a huge part of who you are. This wreath is you, Cancerians. This is you. This is all parts of you, different parts of you. The shells are your inner world, the watery element. There's crystals, your higher being, your spiritual being. There's flowers over here. There's pine cones. This is things that we do on a mundane, on a daily level, or on certain occasions, the different kind of things that we are to different people, the different environments that we navigate. This is you, the complete wreath, with all of your sentiments, all of your emotions, all of your skills, qualities, your relationships, the way you do things, everything come together as this wreath, which is unique, which is beautiful, which has so many aspects and dimensions to it. So I wouldn't say that it's a complex wreath, but I would say that it's a wholesome wreath. So it's like, you're the person. You could be a corporate person, and you are like a certain kind when you're in corporate, the manager, the boss, making decisions, writing documents, making plans, leading teams and companies and marketing and all of the corporate stuff. And then when you're at home, you're a mom, who's so soft, who plays games with kids, who watches cartoons with kids, who cooks for kids, who cleans and all of that. That's part of you. Then you could be having a hobby, where you're creating things and selling it. So you're an artist over there. And then you could also be maybe volunteering somewhere. So you're the volunteer out there in the society giving back. You could be the spiritual person. All of those aspects woven into you that makes you a beautiful person out here, Cancerians. And I feel that if you see with the unique thing that really sticks in my head about circles and everything that's, part of that's woven as a part of a circle, a wreath. Not only it's there, it's like a welcome symbol at the doors, at festivals. It represents seasons, cycles, good luck and all of that. But here, the center point is equidistant from the entire circle. So it's equidistant from every aspect, which means that every part of the circle is equal. It's equidistant, it's equal, it's important. So every aspect of who you are, what you are, is important, You would not be you if you took away one aspect of yourself. So it's a very beautiful energy. This is like, now for some of you could actually be into creating some decorative items, wreaths and all of that, using shells, flowers, whatever that is for you. Or you could be the person that connects teams, resources, people, families, neighborhoods in some way. It's like bringing everything together like a wreath. Maybe you're having parties, public, you bring people together. This can also be for some of you because there's a lot of crystals and flowers out here. Some of you could be working with flowers, crystals, and all of those natural things, or creative, decorative stuff as well. Or you could be decorating your house or some, any place. Now, I also feel that some of you could be recycling or refurbishing things. It's like not discarding it away, but giving it a new touch. Like, for example, the table, it's a table's got scratches and all of that. You're like, this is such a beautiful legacy table in here. I'm going to paint it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to turn it, I'm going to refurbish it, I'm going to use it as something else. Or maybe I could use it as a, what do you call, you could use it in any way, So recycling, upcycling also could be something that you're taking to, or you're working in businesses that believe in recycling things or repurposing or reusing materials rather than wasting it away. So reusing comes strongly with this wreath energy. It's like going around in circles, some like, even if like the electronic devices, if we give them to the waste, parts of it are extracted and used for something else. So it's that kind. So not completely throwing away each and everything that belongs to the electronic device, but trying to use as much as we can. So recycling and upcycling for some of you. Others of you, this could be actually in agriculture where you're monitoring the cycles like this. Or it could be cycles of anything that you could be monitoring. Like, when it comes to summers, it's this. Now it's winter, so you expect this, maybe in agriculture, maybe in weather prediction or any other area. Maybe you're monitoring some kind of cycles, maybe stocks, maybe shares. It could be anything. For some of you, it could be, living in places that are, circular, organized in circles of some, nowadays these are neighborhoods which are constructed with a central common space, and then there are homes around it. Some of you could be living in landscapes that feel circular around. Some of you could be into jewelry designs or using jewels of some sort, bracelets and all of that. Yeah, some kind of circular, pots, jewelry, anything that's like circular, maybe something that you're designing, maybe craft, any kind of creativity designs or something that could have a lot of circular patterns. But basically the underlying emotion over this, in this energy is to know that, we're not just one aspect in our personality. We got so many things going on and each of it is needed exactly where we need it, So it's like, that every part of you is essential and nothing can be changed or can be done without. Now, for some of you, this could be like, the people coming together and sharing other side of their lives. Like, for example, if you're in corporate and you're always talking about corporate things and all of that in office, And then suddenly somebody comes and talks to you about the family, about the plans and future and all. It's actually like, oh my God, I didn't even know this person had this side to them, or they do this, or they, have this hobby, or they, what are this, that, and the third. So you're kind of discovering different aspects of people, or they are discovering different aspects of you. But just knowing that, humans are not just unidimensional, they're multidimensional, and that thing kind of becoming the, getting more clarity for you. And the last card for today, Cancerians, you have is a message from Cosmos. And it says, you may have been feeling isolated, rejected, and unappreciated or misunderstood. But today, you realize you are not alone. There's a loving angel walking right beside you. And that's a beautiful energy here, Cancerians. It's actually kind of a summary of what we already have been talking about. You stepping up as an emperor, because you feel that, people don't get what you're trying to say. They don't appreciate your contributions. And you feel like people don't listen to you, they don't get you, and they kind of corner you in some way. But you're stepping as an emperor, taking charge. You're like, no, this is not who I am. I need to be heard, and I will step up into my authority. For some of you, that's what this energy is all about. You've been feeling this kind of way, and now the emperor energy steps you up a notch. And also with the wreath, it's like, knowing that each and every person is a blend of so many parts of themselves. It's not a unidirectional human being. Nobody is today. So you realize that, you're not the only one that has all these different aspects. It's the whole human framework, the entire human being, the whole world. People have different aspects. Different aspects. Of course, everybody's wreath will look different, but then everybody is a wreath, everybody's a mix of different personalities and hobbies and aspects of themselves. So I feel that you're moving from that energy of isolation, taking charge, connecting with people, bringing everything together. And I feel that because there is snow out here, it's a snowy floor. The landscape is snowy and somebody's walking. There's footprints of a person who has been walking on snow, and snow is like a poorness, right? It's like being alone, feeling rejected, or a challenging time that you have been navigating. But, you're still walking, you still persevere, you're still moving forward. And so it's good because it's well, this is, there's a loving angel walking right beside you. You feel that energy that you're not alone. You feel that the universe is working in your favor, working for you. And even if there were challenges, the challenges is not who you are. It's not, that doesn't define you. The mistakes don't define you. So I feel that you're still feeling supported because things are changing. You're moving into the emperor mode. You're a wreath, you're a culmination of so many elements, external and internal. And knowing that whoever you are at the core, with a mix of all the elements that make you the person you are loved as you are, you're valued as you are. And everybody out here is, dealing with their own challenges. But then you also realize that it's not just you that's dealing with challenges. It's everybody. It's the whole world, in different ways. So that brings us to a common connection. For some of you, you could be, taking stock of your life, making the right connections, doing the right things, emperor energy, wreath energy, completing cycles of feeling rejected and stepping up into newer roles, taking the lead, connecting people, organizing events. And you know that you were supported throughout this transformative journey of yours, from maybe isolation to stepping into a powerful role. So, Cancerians, those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. Now moving on to the sign of Scorpio. So the first card you have, Scorpio, is the Page of Swords. Now, Page of Swords here, there is this person which is sitting, writing. It's like a scribe energy, the scribes of the ancient times, the palaces. They were really talented, people. Um, like they were talented in the sense that whatever they wrote was very clear, precise, and it helped to make decisions. It was like something like a law that was written. Like, based on that, some other structure would be created, some other rule would be created, some other organizational something would be created. So it was considered a huge deal, in the olden times. Even today, documenting is considered a big thing because based on that, a lot of decisions are made, based on the documents, contracts. A lot of decisions are made based on what has been written down. And here, this card is full of hieroglyphs, documents, writing, stylus, the inks. If you see the platform on which this person is sitting is also very symbolic, and it's an elevated space, which means that this is not a naive page. This is somebody who has a foundation, who's learned it already, and who's growing on it. It's like a intern who already has the subject knowledge, is now gathering more practical knowledge on how to do things. It's applying that knowledge to the real life, to the real world. And here, because it's a sword energy, it's about writing, processing, learning from, and creating something which is high level, not naive documents, but solid documentation, whether it's writing books or whether it's writing, stories for movies, direction documents, project plans, marketing documents, something which is of a high quality, high order. And this person's not just learning, but is also putting into practice. This is a person who is like an apprentice, is learning, applying, growing. And I feel, Scorpio, your 8th house energy, Scorpio archetype is that of depth because you're the fixed water sign. So there is a deep, steady, deep dive into a subject, something that you already have some information about, but now you're actively pursuing that, whether you're creating further documents or next level documents or revisions, but it's an immersive experience. Now, for some of you, this could be a specific subject or a craft that you're mastering, learning, growing, creating at the same time, but it's like you're fully there. You're in the moment. You're fully absorbed in that moment, whether it's reading, learning, preparing for some exams, or accruing some, or upskilling yourself. You may be learning something. You may be preparing for a test, for some kind of an interview, or just writing some papers, research papers, or results. Maybe you're in the law field. You're writing some investigations and things like that. Something which you're already thorough about. Not necessarily thorough because it's a page energy, so it's a learning energy. So you could be like draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, and that's fine. As long as you're getting started on it, and this person has already started on it. So I feel that this is encouraging you to go for it. Like whatever you have learned, to apply it, write it, create it. Whether it's a song, write a line. If it's a book, write at least a page. If it's an art, just do a few strokes or draw the border or something like that, and then outline of it. So putting it into practice, being fully, in the moment, absorbed in the moment, because you already done so much research, you already learned so much, but unless you apply yourself, that research, that learning, those certificates are of no use. So it's like, take it to the next level, learn some skill which will help you get a job, not just learn a skill which is going to, like for example, learning a skill of what do you call, of doing makeup, for example, if you're good, or learning a skill of, what do you call, makeup. Even with makeup, you can, open up a store and do some makeup, bridal makeup and things like that. I'm trying to think of some personal, enrichment courses, like, I don't know, what would that be? Like maybe how to play a drum. And then next you jump on to how to play the flute. Next you jump on to how to play the ukulele. not that kind of an energy. It's like, yeah, I want to learn how to play the drum. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to become a drummer, and just writing the notes and writing what you learned and paying attention in class, taking classes, having mentors, people who, pass down the knowledge and all of that. So it's a structured learning, planning, writing, creating environment over here, that you're fully immersed in. So it needs your full attention, your undivided attention, your undivided physical presence. You are working on something like that, Scorpio. So it's an implementation. For example, if you're part of a city and the city learns that, this is a problem going on and, the traffic's not, flowing from this direction. So they understand. They got the statistics, and they're like, okay, traffic is not flowing in this. So let's just go ahead, document this, and put the people and resources to create an alternate route from this or something like that, So you learn that there is a need, and then you document it, and you create a plan, and then you implement it. So it's that kind of a cycloncture that you might be engaged in. For some of you, this could be actual creation of material, whether you're a teacher or you're a student or you're some, inspector of some sort, or whether you're a researcher of some sort, you're just writing down. You're learning your findings, you're writing it down so that it can be passed down, so that it can be improved, so that it can be added to. Even Wikimedia is kind of an example. Like, people learn, people write, they contribute, there's revisions. For some of you, could be involved in online, offline kind of writing, documentation, and participation as a group. Now, for some of you who could be working in offices that actually keep records of things, like, records of bills paid, records of, whether it's records of private cars or, records of students or records of sports or something like that. So you could be, into record keeping of some sort. Maybe at the library, you could be keeping records, making records. So the whole idea is to not just learn, and keep everything in your head, but whatever you have learned, apply, document it so that it can be, it can be actually solidified and used by yourself. You can refine it, used by other people, and it can grow. Otherwise, if it's in your head, it's just a fantasy. It's just an idea, right? So to make it tangible, to make it available, accessible to people is something that you're doing. And I feel that because this is page energy, so you're also learning here, right? Asking the right questions so that you get the right answers. Maybe you're in a group of people, or maybe you're reaching out to people whom you can learn from, some mentors, some coaches, or something like that. The next card you have, Scorpio, is the cave. And the cave here, it's a little different kind of energy with the cave. If you see, there is there's an opening, of course. It's like somebody from the cave, inside of the cave, looking outwards towards just beautiful water, mountains, and, bright light. So obviously the inner side of the cave is darker than the outer side. The outer is more vibrant. And cave, when it comes to the cave energy, it's more like, why would you go into a cave? Like, to feel safe, to feel protected. And also in the earlier times, cave was a place where you could sit, reflect, understand, process, or like meditate. A lot of saints, or I would say a higher, the saints and all of those, they went to the caves or mountains or hills to meditate, to sit in the quiet, to reflect, to get newer perspectives and all of that. That's what the cave energy does. It's not about you isolating yourself. It's more like finding that space where you can just focus on something. And you had the Page of Swords, that is about learning something, growing something. So maybe this could be that you need the time, that space in your house or in your birthplace or in your business, wherever, where you can study things, you can go to the depth of things. It's not about scratching the surface or hopping from one thing to another. It's about giving the time and attention that one specific thing, subject, or problem needs. So I feel that it's about, it's about a viewpoint. It's about a perspective here. This person, whoever is inside the cave, looks at the scene outside, and it appears more beautiful because he's still in the cave. Once you're out of the cave, then you have a different perspective. You're looking into the cave, which makes it a completely different perspective. Once you're outside, it's a different thing. So it's all about perspectives, and I feel that some of you could be actually taking some time away from the noise, from the people, from your invitations or meetings or whatever that is, and trying to put your mind to one thing, whether you're learning, you're documenting, you're creating something, or honing in your skills, or learning about something, researching, whatever that is, If you're doing it in a private space, in your own space, in your sheltered space, in your protected space, maybe you're protecting that work that you're working on. But it's also an energy of, learning a lot, like reflecting on things, understanding things, getting the clarity, getting the deeper wisdom, It's an elevation in understanding. It's an elevation in your understanding of things. The worldly things or cosmic things or higher level things, you are reflecting. You're kind of putting one and one together. And understanding from the vantage point. It's like, for example, a therapist, right? So therapist is like a different point of view. Like when somebody goes to a therapist, that the therapist knows exactly, how to get the client to open up, what to draw, what information is needed. They document it and then come to a conclusion. It's that kind of an energy. Some of you might be counselors, some of you might be advisors, some of you might be ask for advice, because you're able to look at things from a more deeper sense, like going to the depth of things, not just looking at surface level things, going to the depth of things, whether it's researching a problem or a system or anything which needs deep investigation, deep research, deep analysis. That's what this energy is all about. For some of you, you could be researching about ecosystems or caves or something to do with, the energy of the caves. And there's a lot of research by geologists and environmentalists that is going on. So for some of you, you could be researching up on that as well. Now, others of you, you could be actually visiting places that have caves, or, kind of moving into spaces that are less inhabited, like, smaller towns, smaller cities. For some of you that go smaller companies, where there is more a little bit of a private energy. For some of you, could be working on privacy things, or how do you want to introduce privacy, or, breach of privacy, or writing rules and laws in regards to privacy. Privacy and piracy, so that things don't get stolen. Things are still copyrighted, protected. So for some of you, it could be that. But other of you, it can also be some kind of, like, you looking back and seeing things, kind of getting a deeper perspective on your life. Like, oh, I went there and I learned this and this happened. I went there and learned that and that happened. And that's how it's all come together. For some of you, it could be your life review of some sort that you're doing here. Now, for some of you, this can also be your spiritual work. Maybe you need some time to do some spiritual work, or inner work even. When they say that we got to do some inner work, understand who we are, why we are, the grander scheme of things, why things happen the way they did, and what could have been done good, what could have been done by me. You're in that kind of an analysis or reflective state as well for some of you. It's a time where you step back and you have time to collect your thoughts and come to conclusions. So for some of you, you could be trying to get some conclusions, because there was a scribe energy to you. You're writing down. Maybe you have to come up to an analysis or graphs or charts or patterns, and then you present your results. For some of you, it could be that as well. But gaining clarity, gaining the direction, the depth, listening to people with more depth, it's like not just and also even saying things that have depth. For some of you, can be having deeper conversations, rather than just instant answers. It's like, oh, this person said this, I'm going to say that. No, you're like, okay, let me think about it deeply and from different angles, and then I'm going to say it, or then I'm going to write it. For some of you, it could be guiding people, to see things that other people are not seeing. Because some of you, it could be yourself that's seeing things that other people are not seeing. Maybe you are equipped with some skills, some talents that allow you to make better judgment calls in a certain area. For some of you, you could be getting into your finances, where I spend, not just looking at the apps and their charts or their summaries of spending. No, you're like getting into the depth of it, like, oh, where did I spend, Okay, clothes. So what did I buy? Did it serve me? Was it good? Do I have to return anything? So you're just deep diving into something to get the answers. And you are learning something which other people are missing at this point in time, is what I feel. Like the other people are not able to get that clarity or depth or the level of analysis and research that you have done and come up with some findings or researches or outcomes. It's going to be quiet, quiet the quality work, I would say. It has high quality, For some of you, you could be taking stock of your own life. Like, okay, I did this and this is what I got out of it. And okay, let me, and I invested into this stock and I got this much out of it. So you probably are taking a stock of what's working, what's not working, what needs to be reinvested, what doesn't need to be reinvested, what needs to be discarded, what needs to carry on forward. So for some of you, it could be those researches as well. Maybe you're looking at the things in your house and seeing what can be donated, what can be upcycled, what can be thrown, so those kind of things. For some of you, it could be that as well. And the last card for today, Scorpio, you have as a message from Cosmos, and it says, the dragonfly is a spirit messenger that captures your attention for a reason. He may be reminding you that transformation is possible and that you have support from the angelic realms. Exactly. So ethos and energy here, when it comes to transformation, it's the Scorpio archetype. It's like transforming bad situations into good situations, It's like dragonfly is all about, adapting to situations. And whatever challenges you have, it's rising above that, because it flutters its wings really fast and, it just flies around, It doesn't stick to one place. It's an energy of freedom, feeling free. So I do feel that, you're growing, you're learning, you're processing, you're coming out of the key with some knowledge, with some perspectives, with growth, maybe spiritual growth. And, there's a lot of inner world changes, transforming on the inner side, your emotions, your inner landscape. And I feel that something has shifted, something has changed, emotionally or, from the heart space for you. There is growth, there is change, there is evolution, there is, some kind of a shift over here. And I feel that the universe is telling you that there is support. So trust the process. The change is happening for you, for your good. So if anything of the past that you are holding on to, also transformation energy requires you to make space by releasing the old and welcoming in the new, making space for the new. And while you do that, depending on your other placement, sometimes it's easy to let go, sometimes it's not easy. And you recognize those moments where you having a hard time releasing old identities, theories, narratives, whatever that is for you, and moving away from that into something new, and knowing that it doesn't have to be in a day, and knowing that you're not alone in it. There is support, there's cosmic support available. And the reason why this change, this transformation is happening, because you're meant to walk on this path. You're becoming Scorpio 2.0, a version of yourself that has been planned for by the universe, that you're meant to become that Scorpio 2.0, that version of yourself. And that's why all of these situations and research and learning and growth is happening for you. So Scorpio, those were your messages and hope you enjoyed them. Now moving on to the sign of Pisces. So the first card you have, Pisces, for today is the Ten of Cups. This is the water suit. This is your energy. This is completion. This is the maximum level of satisfaction. So I feel that's what this is. This is like, you're feeling contented, you're feeling happy, you're feeling abundant, you're feeling protected. There is not only the 10 cups, but there is a falcon which is protecting this blessing. So it's like the divine is protecting your happiness. Whatever you have built for yourself, whatever the structure, whatever matters to you, all of that is in abundance. It's like you're feeling fully satisfied with the work you have put in, the outcomes you have received. And then you're also seeing that things that you had started are completing, like where the projects are completing and that makes you really happy. Or whether it's some kind of creative project venture you started and, it's a huge success and that's making you happy. So whatever this is, whatever is making you happy, it's like you taking a stock of your life and feeling contented in every way. And because there's a lot of divine protection, it's knowing that whatever you feel, internally, externally happy about, it's real, it's for real. It's not something that you're dreaming. It's for real. You just have to savor it in. And I feel you will be doing that in the next piece. This is like, you're feeling contented, happiness, it's not a fly-by-night thing that I'm happy today, gone tomorrow. No. It's like, I know I've put in the work. I'm receiving the abundance. I'm receiving the results and the blessings now for the effort and the work that I have done before. So there is a lot of protective energy, protecting your project, protecting your friends, your family, your ventures, your life, your blessings, your spirituality, whatever that is for you. It's being protected. And also you feeling like fully complete, you're feeling holistic, like I have done whatever the best I could. And this is what I have created for myself that makes me really happy. So all the efforts are coming together. It's showing you what you have been working towards, when you put your head on, especially if you look at the zodiac wheel, like, the house number 1 is on yourself. Number 2 is the house of investments. Number 3 is your neighborhood, your travel, and all of that. 4th house is your family. 5th is if you take a stock of all of that, you feel like, yeah, you have been putting in work in every area. You've tried not to neglect any area. You have tried keep that balance. And you are seeing the results of it, or you will be seeing that very soon. So I feel it's a good time where things are, coming together. Projects are completing, and the results, monetary rewards or appreciations, or just the simple joy of being a part of that is now becoming real to you. Now, this could be anything, something you've been working on for a long, long time. It could be a business, it could be a family, it could be anything, It's now that you're seeing the results or something has shifted, changed, has been brought to you, made available to you, feeling abundant. And that's, you're really protective of that for yourself. Now, this is also like a general energy around you, I feel, Pisces. Maybe the place where you are, maybe the people, they're so nice, you're happy, they're contented with your own lives, and that rubs off on you. You feeling contented in their company, There's like nothing, I don't want to think about anything, because the people that I'm surrounded with are always positive, hopeful, optimistic, and that rubs in on us, and we start to count our blessings. We feel that everything is where it should be, and we're satisfied with that. We see the divine's blessings. We feel balanced. We're able to give our time to every area that we like to to be balanced. Or this could be your company where you're working that's caring for the people, and you're really happy that the company cares for its team members, or the city cares for, or neighborhood is caring for, or the country is caring for, whatever that is. The policies are making you happy, or you're creating policies that's making people happy. Yeah, in general, there is positivity, there is happiness, there is something to look forward to. There is an excitement in the air with this 10 of cups, and it's holistic happiness. It's like for some of you, this could be like emotionally happy, spiritually happy, like, whether it's in regards to your friends, family, home, work, whatever that is, or even everything combined. Like you're happy where you are at this point in time. You've been working hard and you have reached a certain level of conviction that's making you really happy. So I do feel that, like you're happy where you are, the people, the word, the comfort level, whether it's your office, your business, and the work that you have done, your hobbies, your creativity, your growth, development, family, everything. When you look back and you take stock of how much you have worked out and how far you have come, I think there is great satisfaction that you're feeling in terms of, that, I put in the divine presence, the rewards, the appreciation for everything that came about, the good, bad, the experiences, the negative, everything has contributed to the happiness that you are experiencing today. So no regrets, like, clearing the slate, you're clearing the inner world, all bad recipes, all bad memories, fallen to the wayside. Now, for some of you, this could be about your home, your family, building your home. Maybe, everybody's moving in together. It's multi-generation homes where you've created that sanctuary, that safe space, that beautiful space where everybody feels protected, happy. They can grow in that safe space. For some of you, you're providing that environment, or you have been provided and you're giving it back. So it's about creating that safe space, that valuable sanctuary where people can come together, thrive, and there is a certain satisfaction in that as well, whether it's at a home, your personal level, personal home front, or whether it's community, neighborhood, whatever that is. There's a space where everybody can come, they can come together, they can enjoy together, feel safe, thrive, learn from each other. So for some of you, you're creating that kind of a space in a neighborhood or a community as well. The next card you have, Pisces, is the Herbal Allies. Yeah, this is a beautiful card, and if you look at the picture, there is one main plant which is shown, and it looks like a valerian to me. It could be something else, but it looks like a valerian to me. A deeply rooted plant growing upwards. And of course, we're talking about, this could be botanical plants. This also could be elderberry. I'm not sure, it's nothing's mentioned out here, but the picture seems similar to elderberry or valerian. And these two are also very potent for the health and healing. Also, it's good for the nervous system, it relaxes the nerves, calms us down, releases stress, anxiety, paces our rhythm out. So I feel that this Herbal Allies, either you are taking to herbalism, studying up about it, growing some herbs, or you're taking to vegetarian, including herbs in your diet, or just using some incense or essential oils around it. For some of you, this could be a hobby. Maybe you're growing it, maybe you're introducing some products in relation to that, or you're working closely with some shops and companies and organizations to promote some kind of natural products. But this is like holistic body healing, right? You're taking care of your body. If there's something wrong, then you probably are taking to some teas, herbs. And of course, there's a lot of medical help and alternate practitioners that are available today to help us with the advice of what works for our body. It's going to be different for each one of you. But this Herbal Allies is like, natural plant-based things that you're incorporating, whether it's medicines, whether it's your diet, in some way, shape, or teas or something like that. It could also be you spending time out in the nature, cultivating, growing, agriculture, and things like that. So a very organic, natural energy to this. Now, for some of you, this can also be, because Herbal Allies, when it comes to herbs, when it comes to plants, it's all about the timing. We cannot rush the process of growing fruits, vegetables, flower, herbs. You cannot speed it up no matter how much sun is there, no matter how much good ground the water is there. It takes its own time. So it's about piecing yourself out, about slowing yourself down, spending time in the nature. Nature is our biggest teacher, learning a thing or two. Or some of you could be interested in learning up about agricultural practices, organic practices, or introducing nature in some products, in our day-to-day products, not just food, but even the day-to-day products, the skincare and all of that have already started incorporating. Even traditional medicine has now started closely working with alternate medicine and seeing the natural extracts of plants that can be included even in the traditional mainstream pharma. So there is an increased recognition for plants, for nature. For some of you, it could be spending more time in nature. For some of you, this could be just, practices, or maybe just, outdoor practices. For some of you, this could be about gardening or, moving to places that have a lot of greens and green spaces where you can, it's good for the general breathing. It's good for the environment, for the ecosystem. It reduces the pollution levels. It's good. It's useful in every way. Plants give a lot. So I do feel that a lot of ancient wisdom, traditional knowledge, herbs, there's a lot of practices today that tend to the plants and medicines and, botanical gardens. For some of you, it could be that you could be visiting places like botanical gardens or places that have a lot of flowers, or you could have an increased interest in bonsai, and all of that also comes to mind. For some of you, this could be hiking, biking, spending time out in nature. There's a mountain behind, so for some of you, it could be hiking and going to or visiting mountain places as well. But in general, calming yourself down, not being anxious about, getting things done, everything in one day. It's like slowing it out, piecing it out, taking care of your body, not burning out, drinking teas, introducing, biorhythms, like what time you sleep, what time you eat, what time how much energy you put into work. Some of that you could be regulating as well. And when a body nourished is a very healthy body that takes healthy decisions, and it's just a holistic practice. It's not like one day you do it. It has to be integrated into your day-to-day. For some of you, you could be making it as a part of your routine and your schedule. So, yeah, I feel a huge emphasis on natural organic products. And slowing it down. So for some of you, you could be shifting jobs into jobs that don't require you to be that aggressive or that much of travel. You could be slowing down that aspect as well. Now, the underlying current of this also is about, tending to things, giving it the time. Like plants need their time, their environment. So to be able to provide that, we already saw that 10 of Cups energy where you're providing an environment of growth, healthy growth. So for some of you, it could be that, dedicating yourself to a practice which takes time to show, to grow. So whether it's like, for example, if you're making a PD, you're not rushing through it. You're taking time. You're observing your brush strokes. You're revising it. Or maybe it's a book, It's like a slow growth. So some of you could be working in those areas as well that need a lot of your time, energy, dedication, care. And you have to be patient with the growth because you cannot speed it up. For some of you, it could be your business, your job, your family, your relations as well. But that's the underlying current. Like everything needs tending, everything needs care, and it works at its own time. You cannot rush the process. And knowing that will definitely calm us down when we know that, it will take its time. It cannot speed up. It cannot be done overnight. When we know that it will take consistent effort and we cannot rush through it, develops patience inside of us that keeps us grounded and rooted. So for some of you, it could be like an internal shift where you're more patient, more dedicated, more committed, and not rushing through things. And the last card for today, Pisces, you have is a message from Cosmos. And it further says, angels can communicate with us through dreams. They tell us about our lives, our concerns, and give us clues about what's to come. So pay attention and try to remember your dreams. Yeah, so dream space, It's like when we're in the subconscious, things subjects that we need to tend to, that we need to take care of, that will bubble up to the surface. So if you are getting those clues, don't brush it off. If something, is coming to your mind over and over again, it needs your attention. It needs your care. It needs a resolution. You cannot just, even whether it's a health or whether it's any other thing, your relations, your work, your family, whatever it is, if there is a concern that keeps coming back up, first of all, you're protected. We saw that with the Ten of Cups. You're, in general, very happy. There's a positive environment. And here, it's about your dream space, which is a natural domain for the Piscean or Pedapole energy. Neptune rule, Jupiter rule, dream space, subconscious is your realm. And your gut feeling is forever strong, So if something's bothering you, if something's coming to the surface, if your body's trying to give you some hints, pay attention to it. Don't ignore it. It means it needs some work. It means the work needs to be completed. It's still incomplete. And once you complete that, it will calm you down. It'll release your concerns. It'll make you feel more lighter. And that'll be good for your body as well. So, good energy here, Pisces. Those were your messages, and hope you enjoyed them. So, thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.